Frank Luntz is here with us on set. Frank, thanks for being with us. You know, it was so fascinating to hear how absolutely candid some of these responses were. Were there any surprises for you during this discussion?
Yes. I guess the biggest surprise is that the politicians bring out the worst in us, not the best. That the public appreciates the issues that Trump raises. They just don't like the way that he does it. And when you're responding to Trump, everyone gets so much more animated. You can have a conversation about race. You can have a conversation about immigration. You can have a conversation about religion, national security, all of this. And it can be lively, but it doesn't get heated. The moment that you bring in any of Trump's language, then all bets are off and it just becomes explosive. And I don't think that that's so good, frankly, for the process. I don't think yelling and screaming is an effective way to communicate in American politics.
People feel passionate, though.
And they should feel passionate, but that's okay. When you start to swear at someone or call them an idiot or retarded, as one member did, then that's where we've gone too far.
You know, Frank, I was watching that focus group, and not everyone agrees with Mr. Trump's comments, but several at least said that it's starting a dialogue. And one guy said, you know, at least now people are talking about it because he's talking about it, so that means we're talking about it. No one else is talking about it. That's why he's resonating. Is that your sense, too, that at least it's starting a dialogue, even if it's bombastic?
Yeah, but the question then is the dialogue worthy if it becomes so bombastic that we lose civility? There's a TV show, okay, and it is Hollywood, but Jeff Daniels starred on it. And he talked about being on a mission to civilize. And even though these focus groups that I put onto your air are often very contentious, you still see people talking intelligently about important issues and being able to shake hands and even go out for a drink when it's done. The problem, and I challenge him directly, is that the way that Trump phrases things often creates that rancor that I believe is so destructive to American politics. We don't need any more negativity. We don't need any more viciousness. We have enough already. You see it on Capitol Hill every day. We don't need it in this political process.
Let me ask you about this. According to a poll taken before these most recent controversial comments, 71% of people said Trump tells it like it is. Only 25% find what he says offensive. So, you know, I asked this question. Well, I asked this question of John Dickerson before, but is there a line that with this latest comment that he's made about Muslims that has been crossed for Donald Trump, or given the reaction that we have seen, or is it just non-existent?
It's been crossed. This reminds me of the Robin Williams line, cross this line, I kill you. Okay, cross this line, I kill you. Okay, cross this line. He has crossed so many lines that should have blown up his candidacy, and none of them seem to. So, yes, I think this is too far. But I've been proven wrong every time, which makes me wonder, why am I even on your air?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, it's interesting, you know, and I saw you were talking to Nora, Charlie, and Gail about this, about having a Muslim on that panel, but you said that statistically it probably shouldn't have had one. But I wonder if people who are being asked these questions understand there's certainly a fear of radical Islam and jihadists, but not of all people who are of the Muslim faith. There are Scandinavians who are Muslim. There are people from Indonesia, is one of the largest Muslim countries, Malaysia. Do people understand that we're talking about more than 1.5 billion people, not just people from Iraq and Syria?
Some people understand some things, but your experience living here in New York is very different than someone's experience in Chicago or St. Louis, which is very different than Dallas or Houston, or go into the suburban or rural areas. We are a product of our culture. We're a product of what we get on television or what we get on the web. And the purpose of these focus group sessions is not to teach people right and wrong. It's to show Americans what their fellow colleagues think and feel.
So where's the common ground? Is there any?
Yes, which is, and to my surprise, and it was joyful for me, that they actually wanted to find a way to agree with each other. That even though they pulled apart in the discussion, which lasted over an hour, you just saw a small part of it. And in fact, I'm hopeful that CBSN will air a bigger chunk than what was shown on the network. By the time they were done, they were reaching together. They were trying to find some sort of agreement, and they did, which is they don't believe all Muslims should be not allowed here. They believe you should target by country, not by religion.
Interesting.
So, no, we're not going to take people from Syria right now. No, we're not going to take people from Iraq right now. That, to them, was an acceptable alternative to saying because this is how you pray, you're not let into this country.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Frank Luntz, thank you so much for being with us.
Always a pleasure.